Good evening. I've told myself that I'm gonna try and speak as slowly as possible in making this video. I realize and I understand that we don't have the same level of comprehension. We don't understand things the same. We don't understand things at the same pace. We went to school with a lot of kids that took a bit longer to catch certain concepts. So I need to pace myself. I need to try and speak slowly. And I need to understand that I'm making this video now, but I'm probably going to have to make similar videos, at least in the coming days, if not the coming weeks. I am excited. I've been excited for the past 2 to 3 hours about making this video. I want to speak about foreigners in South Africa. I want to speak about the economic freedom fighters. I want to speak about Operation Dudula and Nhlanhla. And a whole lot of other topics surrounding those ones. I'm excited because I have a lot of stuff to say, and I really hope I get a chance to say all of it. So this video is probably going to be long. I would like to give a shout out to people that understand me. I'd like to give a shout out to people that understand the situation that we're in this country, on this continent, in the world at large. A lot of times we make videos to respond to negative comments. And it almost feels like we never appreciate the intelligent people out there who understand, who are in support. So for you guys that understand, for you guys that are in support, for you guys that are intelligent, I'd like to say thank you. It really means a lot. Please keep it up, and please keep trying on your side as well to keep educating other people. What's currently trending in the news is Operation Dudula and the EFF, who had a physical altercation, I believe yesterday, outside Dobsonville police station. I'm not going to go into the details of the case. I unfortunately have not read much about the case. I've heard of an EFF member, Victor something. I've heard that at some point they wanted to arrest Nhlanhla. I'm not here for that. I think for that you can read the news articles, you can watch news on TV. I'm here to speak on a broader level, on a general level, so that people understand. I've made a couple of videos now giving my opinions on the illegal foreigner situation in this country. My videos seem to have confused a lot of people. Even the interview I did with DJ Sbu and Nhlanhla, there were still comments under that video. You can find it on YouTube. Hustlers Corner South Africa. Hustlers Corner South Africa. The interview between myself, DJ Sbu and Nhlanhla. You can read the comments there and you can comment back for yourself. I see a lot of people confused. When I speak about foreigners, I see even on Facebook, a lot of people still confused about where I stand. So I think I'll start by clarifying that and then going further. For many reasons, I am no longer a black leader. For many reasons, I'm no longer a South African leader. I was largely a nobody, I think, for a lot of people. And I appreciate that my brand is growing. You know, I'm almost at 100,000 followers on my Facebook page, Pennywell the Black Pen. I've hit 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And my Instagram is growing, my Twitter is growing, my TikTok, I think, is on 34,000 followers. So my brand is growing and I appreciate that. Not because I'm trying to be the coolest celebrity, but because I'm trying to reach as many people as possible. So it's important for me to get out there and try and get as many people as possible to listen to what I have to say. I think I have important things to say. I set up the Buy Black movement a couple of years ago. You can still go to the website, www.buyblack.org.za. I think my pretty face is still there as one of the directors and the founder. Because I wanted to fight for black people in a different way from our predecessors. Our predecessors are people like Utatu Nelson Mandela, Oliver Reginald Tambo, Walter Sisulu. These were ANC presidents. All the way back, we had Pixley Kaseme, Langalbalele Dube, Chief Albert Luthuli, who I think was the first South African to receive a Nobel Prize. And I think he was the first black leader in this country to go and visit the Queen in England to explain the situation of black people in this country. Others include Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, Stephen Bantu Bigo, the late Chris Hani, of course, Solomon Mashang, great leaders. There's a whole lot more. There's female leaders. Of course, the biggest one, I think, to me, Umamwini Madikizela. We've got Charlotte Maxege, for example. There's a long list. On the continent, we've had people like Kwame Nkrumah. We've had Thomas Sankara. We've had your Marcus Garveys overseas, your Malcolm X's, your Martin Luther King Jr.'s. We can keep going. The bottom line is those guys had fought in a certain way. And I was like, I don't want to repeat the same mistakes. I don't want to die for black people. I don't want to upset white supremacy to a point where they feel I need to be isolated and killed. And when I looked at the most successful nations, more specifically the Jews and the Muslims in South Africa, I realized that their power lay in their beliefs. I'm not going to say their religions, their beliefs. And part of their beliefs came in the form of buying kosher or buying halal. And in that, they made sure that they buy from their own people. And that's how they kept power. And they work for their own people. Muslims work for Muslims. Jews work for Jews. And they buy from each other, but then they sell to the rest of the world. And I said, if I can convince black people to begin buying from each other, it's obviously in the same sort of space as black consciousness, Pan-Africanism. If I can get black people to buy from each other, and at the time I wanted to create a buy black sticker and put it on all black manufactured products so that conscious black people would say, I only buy black. And in that way, we build an economy, a black economy for ourselves. And we work only for black companies that are within our network. That means white people won't have power over us. That means Asians, including Indians, will not have power over us because your resources will go towards your people and your labor will go towards your people. White people can't build anything without black labor. Muslims can't become wealthy without black money. For me, it was so simple. I was like, what? Then you don't need guns. Then you don't need the Bible. Then you don't need protesting and politics. Because if I can unlock one black mind to consciously keep buying from black businesses, to consciously only work for black businesses, to consciously pick up a product and ask, sorry, where is this product from? Was it made by a black farmer? Who is the black farmer? Was it manufactured in a black-owned factory? Who funded that factory? Was it a black bank? Who are those people? Are they part of our network? Do they hire black? Do they support black initiatives? Do they invest their money in black churches? Do they invest their money in black communities? In that way, I know when I pay my R1 in buying this product, I know it is building the black nation. I thought it was so simple. I realized it's way more complicated than I thought. And during that period of the Buy Black movement, some of the charity initiatives that I've driven, including the Mamsi Foundation, which I'm still driving today, and of which we have programs that we're still busy with, I realized that there are a lot of black people that don't deserve my help. And it would be very misleading for me to keep going out there saying I stand for black when I don't. Black people are so different. We have such different beliefs. And when you say I'm here fighting for black, and you go and you buy from a black business and that black person takes your money and gives it to his white friends and to his Asian friends or sends it overseas, it destroys everything you're trying to do. Then there are black people that want to steal from you, want to rape your daughters and your woman. And I was like, no, we need to segment, categorize black people. And people are like, yeah, but we want unity. Don't divide us. That's how they beat us. They divide and conquer. And I'm like, no. If you keep holding on to fake unity when we have different beliefs, we're never going to build anything. And I'm happy that there are white people who are different. The Nazis in Germany killed white people, being white Jewish people. In South Africa, we had the Anglo-Boer War, which was between the Anglo, the English, and the Boers, the Afrikaners. These were white people fighting against each other. Jewish people don't give their money to random white people. Afrikaans people don't support random white people. But obviously, when you've been destroyed psychologically as a black person, you won't see that. The Chinese would love to wage a war against Taiwan, other Asians. They would love to wage a war against Taiwan, other Asians. North and South Korea used to be one Korea, but they fought because they had different ideologies, the same Korean people. China and Hong Kong have had issues between the two of them. Hong Kong falls under China, but for a long time it was an independent sort of state. Even Indians are split. The Muslims and the Hindus don't necessarily get along. And even within them, they are segmented. They judge each other, they don't support each other. But you won't get this until you research in depth and get to know and sit with these people. So there is no weird unity that you can think of. You can be united against a common cause. South Africans unite, Magdala, the Springbokker, and Magdala Bafana Bafana. We unite, fake unity. With white people, we hug each other. Hey, my brother. Hey, go poker, siya kolisi. Because we're united against one thing. When black people wanted political freedom in this country, they were united just against that. But Zulus were still Zulus, Xhosas were still Xhosas, and even the Zulus, the ones from up north versus the ones from the south, Durban and those places, they weren't really united. I mean, we see the issue of unity now in the Royal Kingdom, KwaZulu, where Misuzulu and Smagade were fighting for the throne. We're not united. If you are going to unite, it's against a common enemy, and once that enemy is defeated, you go back to who you are. For me, I needed something bigger. And the something bigger is a value belief system. It can't just be that we're united based on skin color only. That is a very shallow way of thinking. I see women today trying to fight for feminism and women empowerment. And very soon, just like black unity, women realize they're not the same. Some women want to get rid of men. Some women are like, hey, I want to work with the men. Some women are like, I'm happy with men leading. They must just stop beating us. They must give us equal opportunity and we must live comfortably. So women are segmented. They don't share the same values and beliefs just because they have a vagina and breasts. So we need to understand that we're not the same. And I realized we're not the same. And in doing that, I looked deeper. I was like, I'm black, but now I'm black conscious. But even as black conscious, there are the black conscious that don't want to work with other people. And then I looked back on my life and I looked at all the good white people that had helped me in my life and all the good Indian people that had given me business advice, that had given me a little bit of funding or invested in my businesses, that had given me lifts to choir when I was a nobody. A white man who was my neighbor who funded my overseas trip with the provincial youth choir, the NKZN youth choir. He didn't know me from a bar of soap. I wasn't Penuel, the black pen with 100,000 followers on Facebook. I wasn't some cool kid somewhere. I was just a kid in need and he helped me out. Last year I got stuck. My car broke down on my way to Newcastle, KwaZulu, with a friend of mine. I've got Nchebe now, a black guy. I'm on the side of the road trying to stop cars and all the black people's cars are not stopping. Understandably, there's crime in this country. I understand. I would drive past as well. The person who stopped was a young Afrikaans man, wearing khakis, stopped with his bakkie. He didn't know me from a bar of soap and he decided to help me and he dragged me to the nearest town and he took me to a mechanic that he knew. I offered to pay him and he refused. He's like, yeah man, it's all right. It humbled me because it reminded me there are good people out there. I'm a good person and I've met so many good white people, so many good Asian people. And I'm like, I cannot for the life of me go out there screaming black, black, black when there are so many good white and Asian people that have helped me. And when I know fundamentally there are so many rotten black people out there who are going to benefit from my fight when they haven't earned it. So many black people today, in politics in particular, have benefited in terms of tenders, political seats, business deals, who didn't fight during the struggle. who are actually sort of comfortable with whites being in charge, who are like, why are you guys fighting, man? You'll never take over white people. But conveniently today, they are enjoying the spoils of that. But you'll never know because they're just black. We don't know Cyril Ramaphosa's value system. All we know is that he's got a black skin and therefore he gets called a black president. We don't know Patrice Motsepe's value system, or Aliko Dangote's value system, or Oprah Winfrey's value system. All we know is that they are black-skinned and therefore we feel like they are one of us. A lot of them are not. That's why they work with other people who are like them. Cyril doesn't work with random white people. Patrice doesn't work with random white people. They work with white people at their level of wealth, of understanding. They work with Indian people, Chinese people at their level. Jacob Zuma wasn't working with poor Indians from Phoenix. He was working with Indians that understood him and that funded him. The Guptas being one group, the Sheikh family being another group, the Reddy family, Vivian Reddy being another group. He worked with Charles Senegal, an Afrikaans man who loved Zuma. Those were his people of a different race. Zuma gets along with a white man who is foreign, that you guys know very well as Vladimir Putin. Good mates, they crack jokes. I think Zuma speaks something like 8 languages or something insane. Those are his people. It's not a black man that. It's a white man. It's a white foreign man. But Zuma's like, hey, I see you. You, me and you, like this. With an African Arab, I don't know what he is, Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar is not black. But Zuma and other people in South Africa saw that this guy shares our value system. Guys like Fidel Castro in Cuba, Hugo Chavez, Venezuela, I think. These are people who we share values with. We share values with them. I like them. Some of us like Elon Musk, a white man. Some of us like Donald Trump, a white man who seems racist or what. He had a value system that made sense to us. Then you see another black person who wants to kill blacks and oppress blacks. You're like, this guy is not, he's not my person, he's not my tribe. So I decided to let go of being pro-black. And I realized that I want to work with people that are of my value system. And that's when I built Penalism. And I've been trying to make a bit of noise to try and find my type of people that look beyond race, look beyond gender, and look beyond nationality. If we share values, if I'm Jacob Zuma and I'm a black South African, and you are Muammar Gaddafi and you're Libyan, and you are Vladimir Putin, a white Russian man, and you are Fidel Castro, a guy in South America, and we share the same values, and you are Xi Jinping in China, and we share the same values, I'm willing to work with you because you're part of my tribe. We can build a bricks or whatever it is that you guys want to do. And that's what I'm doing. A lot of people are upset because, our history and the propaganda is real. One of the questions that we have to keep asking is, what is a foreigner? It's a very philosophical question, and some people are obviously engaging that question and a lot of people are not. What is a foreigner? A foreigner is someone that is not from your country. Okay, that's one answer. A foreigner is someone who is not of your own race. Oh, okay. A foreigner is someone who comes from another city far away. If I'm from KwaZulu and you're from Cape Town, you're a foreigner. Okay. I've had to question this thing within myself in meeting really good people and really bad people. What is a foreigner? And the definition that I've settled on for myself, a foreigner is someone who does not share my values and someone who is not helping me and people like me that share my values, who is not helping us to advance in life. It's not about race. It's not about gender. It's not about nationality. It's not about political party. It's not about religion. It's not about anything but values. And if you're helping me build, then you're not a foreigner. If you're not, you're a foreigner to me. Even if we share the same blood. If you are my brother, my sister, my cousin, but we don't share values. You believe in maybe putting white people first. You believe in giving your labor to other people far away. You believe that if you win the lottery, you must donate it to some charity in Turkey. You are not one of my people. If you become rich, if you have a business and you're not willing to hire me and my children and my people, you are a foreigner to me. But obviously we have definitions in this country because I am my own country, and with my people, we have our own imaginary country. But for the real country we have now, which was created by the British, it was imaginary at some point, but they have the power of propaganda on their side. They made it a real thing, and they created a flag, and they demarcated the land, and they created borders, and they said, we are now going to call this the Union of South Africa, later on to become the Republic of South Africa. And they put in a lot of work with the propaganda to get as many people as possible convinced that this is South Africa. And they came up with a uniform and a national anthem. And they said, this is our country. And then they built a government. They built a parliament. They built the union buildings. And they started making this thing real. Everything starts as an idea. Whether it's the African National Congress, or it's the EFF, or it's Operation Dudula. These are just ideas, and they become real when you convince enough people that they are real. And you create a constitution. And you guys have a uniform wearing red berets. You guys have a manifesto, and you maybe have headquarters in a building. And when people say EFF, you're like, it's real. Like, no, that's in your head. You're like, no, we've made it real. So when I speak about my people and my tribe and penalism, obviously it's a joke for now and it's imaginary. But the day we have a sizable chunk of land and it's branded everywhere, welcome to the land of Penwell, and you see people dressed in black, and you meet people say, you know, welcome, and I hope Penwell blesses you. I hope you're one of us and you're coming to help us build, and we have alliances with other nations. People are like, fuck me, this shit is real, and we have a flag and an anthem and whatever. For those of you who've never done the research, that's how countries are built. That's how you become an independent state. Now you have to convince the United Nations. You have to go there and ask. And for years, you must put in the work, and you must get your people to commit and get foreigners to commit. And once they pass that resolution, you become official. You become your own thing. So we live in that country now. It wasn't a black African choice. It was a British colonialist choice to build the borders. Today, we obviously agree with those borders. We agree with the democracy that we didn't choose as well. We agree with a constitution that we were not consulted with. We were just told, here you go. When you read the constitution, it's got a lot of great ideals. But the implementation and the people entrusted to implement are really not really following the constitution. The constitution speaks about redress and redistribution. And almost 30 years later, the African National Congress and the rest of the government has not really put in serious work in redressing and redistributing in this country. Instead, they've kept people busy and distracted with nonsense. And they've obviously kept people dependent with social grants and RDPs so that you guys become children. An RDP, a social grant, is a pacifier. We want the land. They shove these things in your mouth. For the black intelligentsia who want to fight and make noise, white people have said, oh, okay, give them money. Give them a board seat, make them feel important. Give them shares so they can earn dividends. Let them buy a nice house. So when you're like, no, I'm not like these blacks. I don't want social welfare. I want a real stake of the economy. They're like, very intelligent guy, speaks so well. They're like, you know, would you mind sitting on a board? You're like, no, as long as it's for my people. And they're like, sure, whatever you want. You can take your dividends and you can share them with your people. And then you earn your 5 million rand dividends at the end of the year. And they're like, Pen, look, bro, it's your choice. You can keep the money because we won't judge you. You can come and live in the suburbs with us. You can drive a nice car. You can distribute it with the people. Heck, we can help you set up an NGO so you can have a nice foundation. What do you think? And they pacify you. And you never speak out again. I think that's what you guys call being captured. So your government obviously is not enforcing the ideals of the constitution. And they are in effect still fine with the borders. Julius Malema is coming back with that Pan-Africanist talk, black consciousness. We need to remove the borders. And it's cute. But Julius Malema is a career politician. When someone is called a career politician, it means they are in the business of maximizing votes. Understand me? When someone is a career politician, it means they are in the business of telling you whatever you need to hear, doing the bare minimum of whatever you need to see them doing so that they can secure your vote. They are not in the business of effecting change. That's not what politics is about. If you want to effect change, you don't need politics for that. You don't. If you see the nice videos of Dudula and Zuma working in communities, sebenza with ihalavu, sweating, doing fist bumps with little kids, that's marketing, great marketing. Because he's trying to build himself into a career politician. That's what Julius Malema is. Julius Malema now gets to sit on some platform with the African, I don't know if it's with the African Union or the African Parliament. So he's now making friends, like I said, with people that are not South African. Good people. People with a great vision. And they're like, Julius, we need to get rid of our borders so we can take over Africa and unite our people. And he's like, fuck, yeah. That's what Thomas Sankara, Muammar Gaddafi, and all these other great guys wanted. So now he can't come back here and say, no, get rid of the foreigners. He's like, no, those are our people. Because he doesn't sit where you're sitting. He's not in a squatter camp dealing with these issues on a daily basis. That's why he's speaking what he's speaking. And the guys that are with him, members of parliament earn between 80,000 and 100,000 a month on average. If you're head of an opposition party like the DA or the EFF, I think you probably get 150 to 200,000 a month. The president of the country, I think it's 3 million rand a year. These guys earn 80 to 100,000 rand a month. They don't live like you. They live in the suburbs. And the irony of it is, as much as they want to remove borders around this country called South Africa, they refuse to remove the fences around their homes. They refuse to get rid of the security at their estate. If we are one Africa, Julius, please let us come settle on your yard. Please let us come live in your house. Let it be an African house. He'll never allow that. He understands the value of privacy. He understands the value of private land ownership. He understands space and not wanting foreigners, not nationalities. Talk about you. He doesn't want you because you're foreign to him to come into his yard unannounced, unwelcome. Yet, ironically, he wants the borders of this country removed so that people from other poorer nations come in here and they settle in the squatter camps and in the townships with other poor black South Africans who don't have the comfort of fences, of gates, of security. He's not allowed to make that call. I voted for the EFF in the last national elections because I wanted more young people in parliament. And the EFF was promising exactly that, and they delivered. The EFF used to be the ANC Youth League, the chunk of them. So I'm not expecting much different from ANC rhetoric, nationalization, we want the land. Those are ANC ideals to this day. If you read the ANC manifestos, they still talk about the same thing, land and nationalization. And we see it with Lekeshe Nhlanhla, Tito Mboweni, whenever he's no longer in government, tweets all this beautiful stuff about state banks and nationalization. And then as soon as he gets back into government, he keeps quiet. So Julius wants to remove the borders, and other people would like the borders intact. I want to speak about politics, and then I want to go back to the borders. Nhlanhla in his interviews says one of the reasons he doesn't want to get into politics, and this has been my reason for many years, is because as soon as you get in there, there's protocol to be observed. You can't do as you wish. Honorable member, point of order. There's a system you need to play within. And once you join a political party, you can't go on social media and be like, Julius is an idiot. That's what got Andile Mntama kicked out of the EFF. and he went up to set up a BLF, Black Land First, because he was critical of Julius Malema. Now, once you join a political party, you have to follow protocol and keep decorum. If your leader, Cyril Ramaphosa, stands for something, you can't, as Lindiwe Sisulu, Matabile Dlamini, Jacob Zuma, Taumbe, you can't speak badly of that person. It's unbecoming of an ANC member. You must be loyal to the movement, chief. So once you get into politics, you have to play according to those rules, and you can't be a free agent anymore. You can't have a free mind. You get captured by the political system, and you have to behave. Otherwise, you get kicked out by the political party, or you can get kicked out of parliament, or wherever you're at. So we understand that. Tito Mboweni has proven that. So has Jacob Zuma. So has so many other politicians. When they're in a political party, I mean, we've seen the people that have joined COPE, founded COPE, people that joined the EFF, people that have left the DA, people that used to be in parliament and now they've left, highly critical. Or Taombege have got huge mouths criticizing the ANC, not that they're not responsible for those things. Huge mouths. A too big mouth when you're on the outside. Tito Mboweni had a big mouth before he came back to government, talking about we need a state bank, we need to nationalize some of our big resources. Came into government, caps, fuck all, baba. Unfortunately, we have social media today and it's nama files. So some kombisa ma files, except masiti files Tito, utito ati caps mina ngipeki tin fish. Masiti Tito Mboweni ma files ati caps mina ngipeki nkukhu. But Tito, you said chefs, look at my tin fish. Not engaging us on important issues. Fikile Mbalula on Twitter, a very upsetting politician for me. A very upsetting minister who's constantly tweeting nonsense instead of focusing on the job at hand. I won't be surprised if he ever leaves politics and he sounds brilliant. Guys, you know, when I was in power, this happened and it was wrong that blacks, and you're like, fuck, is this Fikile Mbalula? No, Lumchita. A career politician will say whatever you need to hear for him to get votes. That's the business they're in. Jacob Zuma, as soon as he stepped down as president, did a talk at one of the universities talking about Kumele kubuye umhlaba, we need the land back. I'm like, how dare you, Baba? How dare you? When you are president of the country, you are not speaking loudly about this. Thabo Mbeki, who had a 2/3 majority to change the constitution and give blacks land back, didn't do that. But they have big mouths. No, what must happen? The ANC must. Ooh, it's very upsetting. Gets your fucking blood boiling. Career politicians. Not only do they need to maximize votes, they also need to speak in such a way that they get funded. So I wanted to speak about politics, which I've done. I spoke a bit about Nhlanhla and why he doesn't want to get into politics, and I spoke about why I don't want to get into politics. I touched a bit on being captured. I'm speaking now about funding before I go back to the borders. Being captured. The concept of being captured, I've made a video about this. What does it mean to be captured? It's on my YouTube channel, God Panel. In a very simple manner, being captured means you have a set of values and beliefs, and someone comes in and using various tools convinces you to have different beliefs for their purposes. I said we don't comprehend the same. Let me try and simplify it a bit further. Being captured means someone convinces you to stand for something that you don't believe in for their purposes. And they use various tools. The most famous tool is money. But other tools could be sex. Could be like, look, if you just say a hot white chick is like, Pen, I don't like this black stuff you say, you know, I like you so much and I want to date you and I want to give you babies. But you know, this pro-black stuff. And I'm like, yo, this chick is fucking hot. And I'm like, yo, so like, if I stop saying this pro-black stuff, you'll be my girlfriend and you'll give me babies. Dude, I'll give you babies now. I just cringe. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, no, I'll do it. Out in Amiola and Kim Kardashian. Wow. You can get captured by sex. You can get captured by religion. You can get captured by culture. You can get captured by your family members who convince you to believe in something that you don't fundamentally believe in. That's what being captured means. A lot of people are captured by their jobs. They can't say what they want on social media because they're scared of losing money in their job. Some people are scared to speak out about the church because they're scared of being thrown out by the church or being written off by some of their friends in the church. Some people are scared to upset their families. You know, Pen, hey, you're right, Faith, your culture must evolve. And Nami, but you can't because abantu baki bazothi hayibo khuzeka bo umzulu wena phaqa uyinzula uzothini manje. So you get scared, so you end up standing for something you don't really believe in. Nhlanhla and myself have been accused of being captured by Rob Harrisoff, who is third generation money in this country, with his grandfather founding Anglo-Val, huge mining company, became a huge industrial company. I met Rob for the second time about a month ago in Cape Town for breakfast. And one of the things I said to him, I was like, Rob, I didn't know how influential you are. It's insane. When people hear your name, it's a huge deal. I didn't know that. I didn't put Rob in such high esteem as you guys do, or as the rest of the country do, as politicians. I didn't. I knew about him the same way I know about a lot of wealthy South Africans. White, the Ruperts are popular, the Oppenheimers are popular. There are so many families, the Samson family, the Kirsch family, the Enthoven family, the Joffrey family. There are so many families, wealthy families that I know. And I hold them in the same regard. So meeting Rob to me was like meeting another rich family. One of my mentors is a gentleman named Kulufelo Maponya, whose uncle is the late Dr. Richard Maponya. Dr. Richard Maponya and Ukulufelo's father, Matume, both were businessmen, serious businessmen. So Ukulufelo's second generation, black family business, along with Richard Maponya's daughter, Uchichi. So meeting Rob to me was like meeting Kulufelo Maponya. I'm like, yo, geez, I'm honored to meet you. But I didn't think he was so influential that taking a photo with him would get you labeled so many things. It's been a really great lesson for me. I mean, because I know I'm independently minded and I know what I'm about, I think it was cool. Like, it raised my profile. People are going to be like, oh, Rob Harrisoff. The number of DMs and emails and phone calls and meetups I've had because of that picture, the first picture I posted with him, I was like, Rob, you're like a mini god in this country. People now probably think I'm rich or I'm going into politics just because I took a picture with you and because I met with you. And he's like, oh, Pen, fuck, I'm not on social media. I don't like this capture business. And I'm like, I know. But people out there don't know and they're stupid and it's insane. And I constantly have to defend myself, and I don't mind defending myself because I understand propaganda. I understand that if I don't defend myself, the files will always be Penwell was captured by Rob. And I'm like, if there's 2,000 people saying Penwell was captured by Rob, I'd like to have my 10 responses saying I'm not. So that one day when the truth comes out, at least people will be like, but the guy did say over and over that he wasn't. And the day Rob captures me, I think I'm proudly going to say it. Proudly. Because I've got nothing to hide. I'm not a politician. You didn't vote for me. I don't get paid through your tax money. Your 1.9 trillion rand in tax that's collected on a yearly basis. You didn't vote for me. You didn't go to the ballots and put a cross next to my face. You don't necessarily buy from my business. I don't own ShopRite. I don't own PEP like Christo Visa. I don't own Bidvest. I don't own a big bank or Time Bank or Capitec. I don't own Mr. Price. You don't give me your money. I don't own DSTV. I don't really owe you anything. Besides maybe following me on social media, of which Facebook doesn't pay me. I don't owe you that. I don't. I got distracted. I was speaking about Rob. And I was saying, I don't mind saying I'm captured by Rob because I don't owe you anything. I didn't take anything of yours. I'm not convincing you guys to vote for Action SA. Rob Hersoff and some of his friends fund Herman Mashaba and Action SA. I'm not saying support Musi Maimane. Rob Hersoff and some of his friends fund Musi Maimane. I'm not saying that. You're not hearing me campaigning for what they stand for. Rob Hersoff believes in an independent Western Cape. I understand why. There's a reason I'd like Cape Town or the Cape to be independent. It's because for me it's going to prove that I can build my own country. When Goodwill Zwelithini, Ubaba Zulu, said, threatened Kgalema Motlanthe that wanted to dismantle Ngonyama Trust, he was like, we're going to make KwaZulu independent. I was like, go for it. Not because I supported the Zulus being on their own. It's because I wanted to see, can this go all the way to the United Nations and become an independent country like Eswatini or Lesotho? Because if so, that means I can build my own country. I don't care if the Western Cape is independent or not. I'm still going to visit there. I can visit Eswatini easily. I can visit Mozambique. I can visit Tanzania. I will visit the Cape, whether it's its own country or not. So I don't care if I need to get a passport stamp. I don't live there. Those are not my people. Those are foreigners. The white people there, the coloreds there, even the black people there, most of them, 99% of them are not my people. They don't give me any money. They don't follow my pages. They've never done anything for me. I don't give a fuck. So, I'm working with DJ Sbu now. We're doing Hustler's Corner. And he's now welcomed me into his circle. And we're trying to build our own brand called Virtual Mkuku, which will hopefully be a separate entity that I can hopefully co-own. So someone could argue that DJ Sbu has captured me. For DJ Sbu to capture me, it would mean that I stop speaking the things I speak. It means now I become an ambassador for More Fire. Hey, gents, please go buy More Fire. I will say that the day More Fire gives me money. Because again, it's about me and my people, my panelists. Some of you that are going to watch this video who share my ideals. If Sbu is saying, Pen, you can make some money from More Fire, I will promote More Fire because it will uplift us. If DJ Sbu says, let's do this, he will have captured me because I will now be doing something that I wasn't doing before, but I will be doing it for my benefit and my people. That's what being captured is about. Rob Hersoff has not captured me. Nhlanhla has gone on multiple platforms saying Rob Hersoff has not captured him. I met Nhlanhla when I met Rob Hersoff last year in Melrose Arch. I didn't know him much then. I'd seen one video of him speaking about Soweto Youth Parliament. I thought he was fucking arrogant. I was annoyed. He was wearing a fat watch and a tailored suit. I was like, hey, these black boys that are moving and shaking. It was a nice engagement. I was there to meet Rob. I met Rob. I left. The second time I met Nhlanhla was when I did the interview with him and DJ Sbu. But we've had conversations on WhatsApp. We've called each other. You know, I'm getting to know him. I'm trying to make a friend of him because I think he's a great mind. I don't share a lot of his ideals. I don't stand with Operation Dudula. I like what he's doing at Soweto Youth Parliament. He was trying to get young people to lead. I like that very much. A lot of the things that he says are great. I don't know yet if he has the ability of career politicians, where he says the things that you want to hear that sound nice. But he's a young guy. He put his hand up and he said, I will lead. As dangerous as it may be, as much as people might threaten to kill me, as much as you may not like me, as much as you might call me names like I'm captured, I'm going to lead. And leadership is hard. I've said before that we walk in the footsteps of the right people. Tupac Shakur was controversial, but he stood up for young people. He spoke about the Black Panthers. He spoke against white supremacy in America. He spoke about how America has got money for drug wars. They've got money for foreign aid, but they don't have money to fix poverty and the drug issue in America. He spoke out to that, truth to power. But he swore, thug life, motherfucker, bitch, I fucked you, whatever. That was Tupac. Jesus Christ was crucified on a cross. I don't know if that nigga was real or not. I don't know, and I don't care. But it's a symbol of something. Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross for standing up and leading and saying, guys, this is not right. And at that time, King Herod could have said, nah, this nigga's captured. This guy's serving a certain agenda. It's fine. But he was leading. Julius Malema for the longest time was called controversial and dumb. He couldn't even pass woodwork. Short, fat, what, will kill for Zuma. Broken English. But he put his hand up and inspired many of us to lead. Andile Mnetam, another short guy, put his hand up to lead. Nhlanhla is doing what? He's putting his hand up to lead. You guys are saying he's captured. I don't know the guy's life. I've met him twice. I don't know if Rob's given him money. I've never seen his bank statements. Just like we haven't seen Cyril Ramaphosa's bank statements. We've never seen Jacob Zuma's bank statements that he used to get a bond to buy Nhlanhla. If Nhlanhla is captured, this is my opinion, personally, I see nothing wrong as long as he's working for his people. Umfana Soweto, Umfana Sekasi, and he's been putting in fights for Abantu Soweto. When the looting happened last year, he stood in front of Maponya Mall with a whole host of other leaders saying, we won't allow looting to happen here. And he was called a puppet for white monopoly capital. But the people of Soweto said, we don't want looting here. And he wasn't the only one. There were leaders in other parts of South Africa, not just white, black. I remember on TV, I saw a guy in Limpopo standing in front of a shopping center saying they're not going to come loot here. There are young leaders, old leaders, who have stood up to do what's right. If he's doing it to protect white interests, as long as it serves his people. His second reference point to Nhlanhla was when he went and he fought for the reconnection of electricity for Abantu base Diepkloof. And he was there protesting with them. And he went to meet, I think, with he may have met with the Premier, David Makura. But I think he met with other people as well. And they got the electricity back on. I don't know if it was him in particular who got it right, but he became one of the faces of getting the electricity back on. He might be funded by Rob Hersoff, by Johan Rupert, by the Guptas, by whoever. But they got that right for their community. Now the community is saying, Bafwetu, ispanas naso because there are foreigners here. They must go. Those are the people on the ground. Not people high up there, not politicians and all. People on the ground are seeing foreigners and saying, these guys must go. These guys, the guys are saying, the Pakistanis, what are they selling us fake things? They're taking from our communities. And Nhlanhla are saying, we're on the ground, we're going to help you. Whether it's funded or not should not matter. The second thing is, you guys are sitting at home watching black people get funded. Nelson Mandela was funded by the Oppenheimers. I know he was close with Eric Sampson, the Sampson family. Jacob Zuma, I don't know if he was funded per se, but he was close with the Guptas, the Sheikhs, the Reddies, a couple of other families. Cyril Ramaphosa was close to Stephen Saad of Aspen. He was close to Brian Joffe of Bidvest. He's got a couple of other friends as well that have funded him as well. Julius Malema's got Adriano, I think it's Adriano Mazzotti, who's funded him. Obviously a black man, Dalim Mpofu, has funded him. Patrice Motsepe has funded him and the ANC. These guys are being funded to push certain agendas and values. Andile Mngxitama, I think, is not funded as yet, and that's why PLF is not gaining steam, because you need money to have banners and billboards, to hire buses and those things. You guys are watching, and one day Andile Mngxitama might find a white man to fund him. And tomorrow, when he sells out, you'll complain. But he'll be like, guys, and this is my complaint, you guys are watching people being funded and captured, and you're not doing it. You guys have stokvels, you have churches where you tithe. You guys have funeral policies and you spend money in tavern, you guys spend money when you bet on Ebola. But you can't put money aside to capture young leaders. DJ Sbu in his own way is capturing me. He saw something in me. He saw a young leader. And he's like, let me bring this guy close. And we're working together. We're doing the same, hopefully, with Nhlanhla. We're doing the same with other people. Like, let us do that. I mentioned one of my mentors being Kulufelo Maponya. He understands this concept of capturing. And he's like, if you're a young black leader, I would like to be one of the people that captures you. And I've told him, as I've told Rob Harrisoff and many other people, I don't mind you giving me money, whatever the case may be, as long as it's in line with my values and it's going to benefit my people. They haven't given me money. Like I said, the day they give me money, I won't be scared to tell you, because I'm not a politician. I'm not chowing your tax money. You didn't vote for me. So I don't care. I would tell you, I don't have to lie. If I told you that Rob Harrisoff gave me 10 million rand, so what? How does it affect you? I will stop buying from Penwell's company. Which company? I will stop voting for Penwell. Where? No, we'll stop following him on Facebook. Ooh, boo-hoo. I'm going to cry. Oh, please follow me on Facebook. I'll tell Rob to take back his 10 million. Come on, man. Come on, just think a bit deeper. The reason my channel is growing, the reason I speak to you guys is because I want you to be smarter. I want you to think deeper. I want you to look beyond the surface level and the noise. But even if this guy was captured, so what? Why are we not capturing him? Why are we not saying, Pen, please, my man, please come to Cape Town. Please come to East London. Please come to Eqeberha. Please come to Durban, eThekwini. Please come to Nelspruit, Mbombela. Please come to Polokwane. Please come to Rustenburg. Please come to Mahikeng. Please come to Atteridgeville, Mamelodi. Please come to Eqwaqwa, Bloemfontein. Please come to Kuruman, to Kim. Please come for it. We want to capture you. We'll host you for an event. We'll pay you. Come here, sit with us. Let's engage. And then we're willing to fundraise so that you can help us uplift ourselves. We'd like to get tenders in our neighborhood. We would like our politicians to be in parliament. We would like our businesses to be supported. Please help us. You're working with DJ Sbu. We saw you with Rob Harrisoff. We saw you with this guy. We saw you with that guy. We don't know what your relationship is with them, but you seem to have the ears and the eyes of certain people. Please, can we capture you? And I tell them, guys, as long as it's aligned to my value system and it's going to benefit me and my panelists and it's going to uplift my people, let's do it. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. And we can build our own Broederbond and use that Broederbond to build our own Sanlam and to build our own ABSA, Volkskas, to build our own multi-choice and Naspers. We can build our own AfriForum and we can fund it and get 200,000 people to put in money. And just today I was walking in a township and I was like, AfriForum is cutting grass in neighborhoods. They've got their own neighborhood watch with their own cars and people that have guns. They've built with Solidarity Trade Union. They've built their own Technicon, Soltech. They are putting in moves and they hold government to account. They take people like Julius Malema to court. Julius can't work. He can't fight for people on the ground because he's in court, because AfriForum have summoned him. We can do that. And by we, don't get me wrong, I'm not speaking about black people. I'm speaking about my people who share my values. Whether you're white, Indian, Chinese, green, blue, purple, I don't care. And yes, the bulk of my followers are going to be black. We live in an 80% black country. Come on, man. But I can tell you, because I know it's not just Rob. There are so many white friends of mine that I have from childhood. Guys I played rugby with, that I sang in the choir with. My mates, real mates. People that have invested in my businesses. Even when they failed, they've said, Pen, go for it, bro. I know you tried your best. There are Indian Oaks that I went to school with. They are great families. One of my mentors is a gentleman called Ahmed Jamluddin in Newcastle. Brilliant Muslim family. He's given me so much knowledge. He's told me if I need anything, he's there to help me. And it's not just him. There are so many other families I can list. Because I'm a person of value, I have a brain, I'm willing to work hard, I'm willing to assist. A lot of these people gravitate towards me. They never gravitated towards me because I was running for ward councillor, or because I was trying to be mayor, or because I was in politics, or because I was Caspanyo Vest, or because I ran some big business. They just saw potential in me. And they extended a hand and I said, thank you. And now I must abandon all those people to serve a few Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, idiotic blacks out there who are calling me captured and other names, who have never given me a dirty rand. Come on, man. You may not take yourself seriously, but please try and take me seriously. Because I take myself seriously. And I take my supporters very seriously. And I take the state of the nation very seriously. Spoken a lot. I wanted to go back. I said I'd speak about politics. I spoke about being captured. And now I want to go back to speaking about the borders. I spoke about the EFF and Julius Malema and their agenda for why they want to remove borders, but their hypocrisy in the fact that they don't live in fenceless, borderless homes. Now I want to speak about the other side, the poor. Poor people have obviously been forced to agree to borders. But number one, this is very important. Before white people came here, we had our own borders. They may have not been fancy fences with a border gate, but ubungavela utheleke kwabuthelezi kwamtawung. Ubungavela utheleke. You'd have to send someone. If you've watched the movie Black Panther, Marvel movie, there's a point where Killmonger gets to Wakanda, and when he gets to their border, one of the security guards there is asking him, who are you? What are you doing here? And he explains, I've brought Claw, something Claw. The guy's name is Claw. I've brought Claw, and I'm actually a Wakandan. So uyazibika ukuthi ubani, and they let him in. Back in the day of velutheleke on someone's land and just do as you please. Ubushawa ngesagila, ubugwazwa ngomkhonto. We had our own borders, and our borders were beautiful then because they'd normally be demarcated by natural sites. A mountain, a river, certain trees, etc., etc. And you'd know, nomhlaba wakamlotshwa, uhamba ugcine kule ntaba le. Mase kuqala umhlaba kaNxumalo. Straightforward. We had our borders. You weren't just allowed to do as you please and just trespass, tarafe as you want. Lutho baba. So before we had the borders, we had our own. So now white people brought the borders. And poor people are saying, look, okay, you guys gave us the borders and it's fine. We accept them. And in these borders, we're saying we're not the only ones with borders. Those countries have their own borders. And in those countries, you don't just get into Zimbabwe. You don't just get into Mozambique. You don't just get into Tanzania or Nigeria. You have to follow due process. It's their home. They've also agreed that that's their home. And we have to respect their process. You can't just fly here and go to Pakistan and open a spaza shop, or Bangladesh and open a clothing factory. You can't. You have to follow protocol. And I can only imagine the Pakistanis, the Bangladeshis, they are not going to support you the same way we support them as black Africans. So poor people are saying, no, we've agreed. Yes, it wasn't our choice, but we've agreed. Okay, Savuma, there are borders. This is the protocol. And we say these people didn't come in here according to the law, and we'd like them to leave. We're asking them nicely, please leave. You're not welcome. They're saying they're poor. We understand. We're also poor. Please go back to where you come from and ask nicely. In this country, we have refugees from war-torn countries like Sudan. They are noted. You can see there. Your government can tell you, this camp is a refugee camp. These are people, just like it happened with apartheid and black people in other countries, go Angola, go Tanzania, go Mozambique, go Lesotho. There are refugees in this country who have asked for an asylum, who have asked for safety. Please, for those of you who may not know, and I'm sorry if this upsets you, but refugees in this country from other countries are allowed to get grants. You can go onto the government website for social development and look at the different grants that are there. They can access a lot of our grants from our tax money, the refugees that are here legally. Even though they are refugees, they run away from their home. These other guys are not refugees. If you're coming from Zimbabwe illegally, there's no war in Zimbabwe that you're running away from that we need to help you. There's no war in Nigeria that you're running away from and you're like, yo, hey, Nigeria is under attack. Hey, let's help our African. There's no war. So for some of the people who are going there saying, but these countries helped us during apartheid, we were under oppression, we were being killed, and the people went there seeking asylum. The same way people come here seeking asylum and we give it to them. But again, South Africans didn't go to foreign nations and just say, hi, we're here. Come on. We asked and they let us in. That's how it works. So a lot of these guys have come in and we asked nicely, please leave. They don't want to leave. So we say to our political leaders, hi, these guys must go. And in asking them, we find out that a lot of our politicians, a lot of our police officers, a lot of our administrators at Home Affairs are being given money to turn a blind eye, to give them fake IDs, to make sure that they legitimize whatever they hear, and to protect them. Black South Africans are saying these guys are not welcome here. They didn't come here officially. We'd like them to go. And when we're trying to push them out, your same South African police services that fail to show up when you have a problem, they tell you we don't have vans. All of a sudden they have vans. And they're there to protect the exact people that shouldn't be here. And it's sad. It's sad for poor black South Africans who don't live in gated communities, who don't live in fancy estates like Stain City. Because if they did, it doesn't matter if you remove the borders. It doesn't matter. There's a fence and they're like, okay, ID? I'm like, oh, ID. Zofunanda? No, I'm Zovakashe Chafposi. Oh, why? Kulega. There'd be borders. And Soweto citizens would maybe have a card, they swipe, no, Soweto, boop, they go through. Same with every other township. Same with Orania. You don't just get into Orania, even as a South African citizen. You can kick and scream about Orania. Orania is private land. It was bought as a farm. Karel Boshoff and some of the other people came together and they bought a private farm. It's like you and a couple of black people going to buy a farm somewhere and then you create black land. You can call it Azaniaville, and run it just like Orania. Have your own little currency in there. Could even be crypto, and you guys build your own houses and you create your own economy there. And you tell people if you want to come in, you have to ask. But we are pro-black. This is built for black people. It's Azaniaville. Nothing stopping you. It's private land. Right of admission reserved. The laws allow you. Orania is not some land that Afrikaans people came and took forcefully. They bought the farm. You can go read this up. This information is free for you on Google. Go do a bit of research. That's when you'll understand why people like myself admire Orania and what white Afrikaners have done. And we don't demonize them and say, hey, fuck those whites. You're like, why don't you do it? So poor people are saying we want these people to go and they're willing to do those things. And some people understand that Operation Dudula has existed for many years. Nhlanhla did not found Operation Dudula. He came at a time when his profile was growing, Operation Dudula was pushing, and he became vocal. And because he's got an X factor, he's got charisma, he speaks well, on the ground, he can speak good English with white people, so he becomes a maverick. And Operation Dudula, I don't know if he's the official spokesperson, but he's become their spokesperson. Whenever Operation Dudula's around, people want to be like, hey, where's Nhlanhla? The media houses want to speak to Nhlanhla. So he's become a member of Operation Dudula and he's helping them push because people on the ground are saying, we want these guys to go. As with Fees Must Fall, as with the looting last year, there will always be criminals that use this chaos for their own agendas. There are people that are going to go and kill and loot and steal and say, but I mean, I'm Operation Dudula. No, you're a criminal. You're a criminal that's hiding behind Operation Dudula. I can wear an ANC shirt tomorrow and go kill someone or go burn a building. And the media reports will say, ANC member, but no. Think deeper. Who is that guy? There's a video that someone posted because I said, I don't know if Operation Dudula is beaten or killed anyone. Some guy posted a video of Ukoko, of these guys saying, now Operation Dudula. Because you guys think at a shallow level and you expose your stupidity. How do you know those guys are Operation Dudula? Has Operation Dudula officially come out and said, guys, yes, those were our members, we apologize, we will discipline them. Anyone now can make a video committing a crime and say Operation Dudula. I can go and kill Pakistanis and Somalians and say, yeah, viva Operation Dudula. And then because you guys live on social media and stupidity, you guys are going to believe that. That's very tragic. That's very tragic and you guys need to stop. That's why I'm making videos like this one. I'm trying to unlock your minds. Think deeper. Don't become a puppet of the media. If anything, you're captured. When the media says something, when Cyril Ramaphosa and his fake scientists tell you about something, you believe it. You believe that Russia is good because someone's convinced you. You believe that Ukraine and America are bad because someone has convinced you. Please apply your mind. Don't just jump into something. And again, have a value system. What is your value system? And whatever agenda is being pushed out there, how does it serve you and your people? Because if it's not serving you and your people, it's probably an agenda you don't need to jump on. Operation Dudula doesn't help me and my people. So I don't need to work with Operation Dudula. I don't live in a space that's overrun by foreigners who are committing crime, who are running prostitution rings. I don't. So I don't need to worry about that. But I'm admiring them from far. Again, Nhlanhla and the guys at Operation Dudula, like Julius, like Andile Mzitama, like that became the face of the Fees Must Fall. This is why I'm going to get your name because I think it's important that we celebrate our women as well. Fees Must Fall activist, Wits University. This lady, I believe, is a member of the African National Congress. Anomcebo Dlamini, Mfana Waseswatini, was also one of the faces. I'm hoping to get him to come and speak to me and DJ Sbu. There was a guy who was arrested, Ukanya. I want this lady's name. Speaking about young leaders. Come on, Google. Do the right things. Google. Nompendulo mkachwa. This was efforts. Young leaders have put their hands up and they're leading. And these guys are saying, the people on the ground are saying they want the foreigners gone, and we're doing that. If you are living comfortably with foreigners, whether legal or illegal, wherever you are, then obviously you won't have a problem. If you are a politician earning 80,000, 100,000 a month, and you live in white suburbs, and your kids go to Curro, or Crawford, or Red Hill, some of these prestigious private schools, obviously you don't live with foreigners. It's easy for you to say, no, these are African brothers and sisters, leave them alone. You don't have to wake up in the morning and go hustle for a small opportunity for 5 rand, for 10 rand. When you're going to beg at the robot, you're having to beg with the Zimbabwean there. He's taken your spot. When you try to open a salon and cut people's hair, they're there at the Ghanaians' hair salon. They're there getting their hair done by a Mozambican woman. These people are taking our opportunities. You won't see it because you're there in your ivory tower. These people need to go. They didn't come here legally. You need to understand that for you to be here legally, you need to have a permit or a visa. There's a study permit, which means you're here to study. You can show it. I'm here to study. You can have a work permit. I've got a job here. This is the job I've been given. Before I came here, I got approved to work. Maybe you can have a business, whether you're invested or what. A guy like Ostrive Masiyiwa from Zimbabwe, who owns Econet, who owned Kwese, which is a media company, and other big businesses. I think he lives in Bryanston. Ikwese had offices in Bryanston and in Randburg. That's a Zimbabwean businessman who probably has a business permit to be here. Doesn't have a work permit because he's not working for anyone. The guy's a billionaire. I believe $1 billionaire. But he's here. So he's got that permit and visa to be here. It can't be that as a Zimbabwean, as a Mozambican, as a Malawian, as a Sutu, as a Swati person, you're here running a hair salon or you're cleaning somewhere. That means you don't have a work permit. That means you're not on a student permit or a student visa. That means at some point you came in here probably illegally, and maybe you went and you bought an ID or you bought a permit or whatever, but you shouldn't be here. Because if you were here, you'd be working for an established company and you'd have the work permit, or you'd have an established business and we'd see it. But if you're running a little spaza shop, South Africa doesn't give out business permits for spaza shops. Woo, shame. It doesn't. You can't come from Pakistan and then come here and be like, no, but business permit. You're not going to get a business permit to come and open his spaza. It's a container. La. You don't. So obviously there's a lot of illegality going on there. Our Home Affairs officials, administrators are paid bribes, and we can judge them. It's nice. Judge them. Yeah, Home Affairs is corrupt. But I've said before that you're corrupt. There are things that you're doing. I know watching this video. There are things that you are doing that are corrupt. There are certain bribes you've probably paid to traffic cops. There are certain places you've gone in when you shouldn't have gone in. There's certain maybe stationery you've stolen from the school you work for. Maybe some medicine at the hospital or clinic you work on. There's a lot of corruption you're involved in. If you worked at Home Affairs and a foreigner came to give you 5 scoto, 5 tower, you take it. There's a video of ex-convicts on a channel on YouTube. I don't know if it's called The Agenda or what. Ex-convicts speaking about things that they've done. And one of the guys is speaking about all the fake SASA cards they had so that they could chow money with fake people that needed what. And they were bribing people at Home Affairs. These were South Africans committing crime.
Want to pass your next certification exam the first?
The Agenda Network is the channel. The Agenda Network on YouTube. Great stories by prisoners of the crimes they committed. Black South African criminals. Because now we've made criminals just be foreigners. If it's a black person who's committed a crime, why foreigner? My point is poor people want these people to go, and your government, your political leaders that you voted for, who your tax goes to, they're not on your side, which means amandla akusiwa wethu awabo. And they funded by rich, generally white people and some rich black people to push certain agendas. And their agenda is not to prioritize getting rid of foreigners. Julius Malema, I know for a fact, is going to lose a lot of votes with the EFF on this foreigner issue. Because as much as Bakogama overall, and they say they stand with the people, they're not listening to the people on the ground. And they've convinced, sadly, some of their EFF members on the ground to stand with their nonsense. And it is nonsense because you have to go to the ground to understand. You have to go to squatter camps, man. Go to squatter camps, go to spaces where people have put up a flag, the IFP, Mangosutu Teles, Ukacha. Utahoe, Kona Bezulu, I know it's in a field to figure it out. Puma for it, I Puma like Nambi, Ties Puma like Bigville, I'm thinking Puma like Moon to Pumem Sing. And then you ask, oh, Banabashala, Bazo Church, oh, Malawi, La Abesutula. You see all the foreigners, but these are illegal foreigners, they shouldn't be here. Some squatter camps you go, then you hear in the music, there's Portuguese music playing. You know, man, if there's Portuguese music, these people are probably from Angola, Mozambique. They're here illegally. They've set up squatter camps. That's why they're willing to fight and die. And you bulldoze the shack, they build it back because they know they're not going anywhere. Foreigners and South Africans are like, no, man. And some of these guys get desperate. They beg in the streets, they commit crime, they get desperate, they sell drugs. Some are on drugs, and when you're on drugs, you end up doing stupid things like raping, stealing. These are realities. Some of them are committed by our black South African people who are poor, who come from the Eastern Cape, who come from KwaZulu, who come from the Free State, Mpumalanga, Northwest, Limpopo, Northern Cape, Western Cape. Poor South Africans who come from poverty, mud houses, who come live in squatter camps here, and who get desperate and commit crime. Some of them commit crime with their foreign friends. They hijack. They want a good life like me. They don't speak nice English like Upenny well, the black pen. Abapasang eskele. Abakwazi ukudlala idiski, ukudlala iChiefs, noma iPirates, noma iSundowns. They don't have some skill. They can't be doctors. They don't have a good business. So they're like, nami ngifuna impilo entofo, nami ngifuna soft life. Senze njani? Oh, Ramaphosa baphila kamnandi. Oh, Muthipe baphila kamnandi. Thina senze njani? So they're going to crime. They're like, I want to live in the suburbs too, and this is my only way. With their foreign friends, all criminals. But at least they have the ID, so it's like, it's fine. Gay. Those people want foreigners out, and I understand. I don't stand with them because I don't live their life. But I understand. So when Operation Dudula is speaking on their side, and then people are speaking from their nice suburban homes. Yo, what Operation Dudula is doing is criminal activity. I can't believe them. You know, it's so barbaric. Hambo hlala elokishini. Hambo hlala kwisquatter camp. Miss uyabuza okhuluma nawo masima nawo. understand the issues on the ground. You've become so distant. You as a black person have become a white person in the suburbs, speaking out of your nose. Yo, look, I didn't know, hey, like really, I think what these guys are doing, like, it's so embarrassing what Nhlanhla likes to do. I can't believe we went to St. David's. Bro, I mean, we are a segmented nation. You want to try and fight for blacks. There's EFF blacks, there's Operation Dudula blacks, there's ANC blacks, there's IFP blacks, there's Action SA blacks, there's DA blacks, there's Patriotic Alliance blacks, there's Ahang, woo, shame, there's Ahang blacks, there's Coconut blacks, there's... Oof. I was like, nah, I'm going to create my own value system and I'm going to share it out there to the world and I'm going to attract my people and fuck all the blacks and fuck all the whites and fuck all the foreigners and fuck everyone and let's focus on us and build together. I want to make sure that I covered most of the things I wanted to speak about. I wanted to speak about our history. I started off with a philosophical question, what is a foreigner? Trevor Noah says, and I think he was quoting someone else, he says, on a long enough timeline, everyone is a foreigner where they are. Understand that the world we live in is pieces of land. Before all the noise, there were no borders. There was no, there was none of that. It was just land. Animals, of course, pee. Animals pee on shit. Hey, this is my area. But outside of that, animals don't have borders and what. We have land, and land has always been fought for. You guys fight for land in your own families. When you guys have beef and you're like, you got gogo. And your cousins are fighting and you end up killing each other over family land with your own siblings, Cain and Abel. Then you fight with neighbors. Fight. Then with other communities, then the whites came here and they destroyed blacks and they took over the bulk of the land. In Rome, they fought over land. North Korea and South Korea fought over land. Ukraine and Russia are fighting over land. America, that has military bases all over the world, fights for land. Land has always been fought for. But where you are currently, there's a chance that your parents were not born there. They came from somewhere else. So you are a foreigner there. Your parents, wherever they come from, there's a chance that their parents did not come from there. Speak about my family. Me, njengoba eGoli in Johannesburg. In Johannesburg. Ngiphuma eNewcastle. Newcastle, I grew up largely in the suburbs, in Arbor Park, in Central. But we actually came from eMadadeni, elokishini eMadadeni in Newcastle. But eMadadeni in Newcastle is where I was born. My parents are not from there. My mother is from Ekuvukeni, Washbank, close to Lady Smith. My father is from Mpopomeni, ilokishi lase-Howick, close to Pietermaritzburg. You trace a bit further and you see how far back do their parents, grandparents come from. As far as I know, umlando wasekhaya wakamlotsho mabesho wakamlotsho. I unfortunately abantu abaqhamuke eLesotho. Khona umlotsho eMaritzburg, khona umlotsho eHowick, khona umlotsho waseSwatini, khona umlotsho waseZimbabwe. Foreigners, all of us. My mother's side of the family, her mother is Umyaga. I don't even know umlando wakubo. I haven't had time to sit with my grandmother and suck this knowledge. Her father is Amin, Indian. I don't know where he's from. He might be Pakistani, Bangladesh. Hey, what kind, bruh? What kind, you say? Hey, what's you chung uncle? Hey, what kind, bruh? Hey, what sign? I don't know. Foreigners, just follow your history. Proud Zulu. You find out your grandmother is actually Mxhosa or Pedi. We're all foreigners. But we can't have these philosophical discussions because we're now being blasted by this noise. And you're being forced to pick sides as per usual with political agendas. And you're watching people fight for their kasi, Soweto, Meadowlands, or Orlando, and the people there want something. If I'd give Operation Dudula a piece of advice, I'd tell them, guys, speak to your people wherever they are and tell them, guys, we can only fight so much. But Nina, if you keep buying from Mama Pakistan, Nama Somalian, Nama Ethiopian, Manenza Makanda in Makanayan, Nama Mozambican, mani loku eniqhasha abantu baseLesotho nabaseMozambique ubanakhela imizi, mani loku eniqhasha abantu baseMalawi. Lento angeke iphele bafethu, ngoba inini akusho ukuthi nivumela labantu babela, inini nibanikeza imali. Sizolwa silwe nijike nina kusasa nibanikeza imali yenu, siqalele phansi futhi ka so ngicela nathi nisihloniphe ngoba silwela nina. But if Nina, you're not meeting your side, then what the hell is the point? We're fighting for blacks, for black liberation, but the same blacks want to go work for white companies instead of for black companies. Yes, the black company is small. It's going to pay you less. It's because it's in a building phase. If I start a bank today, I can't compete with ABSA. Yeah, but you don't have ATMs, Penwell. How am I going to have ATMs if ABSA's however many decades, years old? Look at how if ABSA had ATMs when they were 5 years old. Judge me on that. Yeah, but you don't have stock, so I have to buy from ShopRite. How can I support a black business? Then you're not serious about building a black economy and a black nation. There has to be struggle. There has to be sacrifice. Foreigners in this country, whether they're illegal or illegal, are funded by you. White people in this country, the same white people you claim to hate, 1652, white people are foreigners. I wanted to speak about white foreigners. The white people are the original foreigners in this country, on this continent. You guys buy from them. But you're not sure of what you really want. And that's why I also had to take a step back and be like, I do enjoy my Korean Samsung phone or my American iPhone. I do like my American Twitter and Facebook and Google and YouTube. I love walking into Woolies and getting a Malva pudding with custard. I love my Spa strawberry juice. I enjoy these things. And a lot of these things, when you meet the business people behind them, are people that have put in the work and have hustled. I've met Portuguese business people. I've met Greek business people. I've met Lebanese business people who will tell you a very beautiful story about, you know, Peno, my great-grandfather came to South Africa here from Lebanon or from Portugal, and he had nothing. He was an immigrant. He had nothing. There was nothing back in Portugal for him, and he came to South Africa and he had a small shop, like it was Pasa shop now. And from there he worked really hard. He would open many hours and he learned language. You know, my great-great-grandfather could speak Zulu better than a Zulu man. I'm like, oh, okay. And then my father, or my grandfather, when he grew up, he took my grandfather's little shop and he grew it into a supermarket. And then my father took the supermarket, and when there was an opportunity for Spar to franchise, he went and he got a Spar franchise and he built a Spar franchise, and there was a Spar there in that neighborhood. From there, my father and his brothers, we've now built a huge shopping center that is ours. We rent it out. If you look at the shopping center, you'll see it's got a Greek name, Portuguese name, a Lebanese name. You'll see it in small towns if you travel. If you do the research and you get to know people, you'll see the Spar as the anchor tenant. You'll find out it's the family Spar. It's been there for 3 generations. Then all the other shops, your Pep, Capitec, KFC, there's all these standard shops that they have for blacks. All the shops that are there pay rent to this family. And this family is one of the wealthiest families in the town. Because they've been there for so many generations and they didn't run away to Joburg and to Cape Town and everywhere else that blacks run from. They've gotten to know the town and they've funded all the politicians that have been there. They've gotten some of the tenders there. They've bought land there. They've built great farms, and the farms give the produce to the Spar. They can tell you that we've got good relationships with some of the black people here. We built this school. We funded that church. They won with the community. And you're like, yo, that's a beautiful story, man. Mrs. Ijaya, those whites are foreigners, they must go. Because we're so detached from the reality of the world we live in. So yes, white people are foreigners, and when we do have the discussion, which we have to have, about what is a foreigner and what's not, do we get rid of them? If they're adding value, do we legitimize their being here? Who decides? Will we let our useless, corrupt politicians decide? Can we decide? Can we see who Abdul and Muhammad and Moses and whoever? Can we say no, as a community of this neighborhood, we know these are illegal foreigners, but we want them here. Can we organize a work visa for them, a permit, because they add value here? But like us, they work as security guards. Or behind closed doors, we hustle and bribe for IDs for these guys because they won with the community. They're our people. We need to have those conversations of who decides what's a foreigner and what's not. We need to have a conversation about our borders. Do we really want to remove them? If we're removing them, what's going to replace them? How do we make sure that people from poorer countries are not coming here to come and fight with us over the crumbs that white people have given us? Because that's all we're fighting for. The reason South Africa is so great is because we've got better whites than the other African nations. If they had better whites, they'd be the rich country. We've got the better whites, the Oppenheimers and the Ruperts and our whites came and built a great nation. So we don't want to share our whites with our poorer African brothers and sisters. Do we want to get rid of whites? Do we want them to pay reparations, which was meant to happen, but thanks to, may he rest in peace, Desmond Tutu, or Desmond Tutu, Nabo Mandela, Nabo Ramaphosa, all these guys negotiated all those things away, our reparations. Are they adding value? Do we actually have an understanding of how many jobs for black people Christo Visa has created with ShopRite, Bidvest has created, other big companies? Do we know the number of black jobs Johan Rupert is responsible for? How much money Johan Rupert pumps into black communities? How much tax Johan Rupert pays, which goes to uplifting black people? Has Johan Rupert created institutions where black kids are studying? Has Johan Rupert got funding institutions where black businesses are benefiting? So should we throw him out and get rid of him? Or should we say, look, actually, let's work with this guy? The reason I'm a penalist and why I'm trying to find penalists is because I want to work with people that are intelligent, that understand the power of human collaboration. People judge me for my name Penuel, which is Hebrew, from Genesis, from the Bible, which means the face of God. My name means the face of God, for I have seen the face of God. It's Hebrew. It's not Zulu. It's not Xhosa. It's not Nguni. But the same people who judge me are comfortable to have their Zulu, whatever names, that use an alphabet which was not created by their Zulu people. They're happy to type their names on books, using pens, on phones that were not created by their people. They speak on platforms, on microphones, and on TV with things that were not invented by their people, and they fly on a plane to be like, I'm a proud Zulu man. Oh, Umzulu, come on. On a plane that was not created by Zulu people, and we bank, want to create a Zulu stock fair in a bank that's not created by Zulus, because human beings over the ages have collaborated to create great things. Not only white people, not only Asians, black people, black Africans, South Americans. In one way or another, we've all added value. Sergey Brin, Larry Page built Google as a company. They will give you Google and say, look, please help us translate this into your mother tongue. And you collaborate with them as a black South African who Zulu, and you help Google have a Zulu dictionary. That's collaboration. So that in future, your kids can say, my grandfather worked on the Zulu dictionary for Google. That's collaboration. My aunt worked with Google to sort out the GPS in our neighborhood so that we can GPS around here. Collaboration. And if you can collaborate with good people, with pioneers, with inventors, go to Elon Musk, a white South African, a 1652, and be like, I'd like to bring Tesla to South Africa. Or can you help me? I'm trying to build electric scooters for South Africans that are cheap. I looked at what Adolf Hitler did in Nazi Germany. He commissioned Ferdinand Porsche to build a Volkswagen, a cheap vehicle for the common man, Volkswagen. I like that idea. I would like to take the spirit of Adolf Hitler and come and build something similar in South Africa for poor black South Africans. I see electricity is working. Please tell me how to use electric cars and bring this technology here for poor black people to use electricity. Collaborate with someone else and find out about biodiesel, how to use leftover oil, how to use animal secretion, cow dung, pig poo to create fuel so you can power these things. That's collaboration. Me taking an English that I didn't make to empower black Africans. Because I'm not going to be angry at William Shakespeare and other people that added to the English language. I don't hate Mark Zuckerberg and the guys that built Facebook. I'm going to use the tools they've given me because I see power in them. I'm going to collaborate using those tools, and I want to build my people. And that's what penalism is about. It's about finding the illegal foreigner the legal foreigner, the legal local person, the white man, the Vladimir Putin, the Xi Jinping, the Chinese guy, the whatever, becoming a global citizen and saying, I want to find great minds out there. I want to work with them to make the world better. If it means building better borders, we'll do it. If it means we're only building borders around our community, we'll do it. If it's about educating Zimbabweans that are here to be like, guys, you don't need to be here. Please can we send you back home and then we'll help you rebuild Zimbabwe into what it was meant to be. Let's do that for you because we know why you're here, you're struggling. So let's go home and help you build your home. Abantu baseGoli, abawaZulu, because your Zulu king has failed you, even though he earns 80 million rand a year, even though he makes 118 million rand a year from Ngonyama Trust, but he's failed to build an economy for the Zulu people. Just as Umswati has failed for his Swati people. Let's take the Zulus in Joburg and say, guys, we'll hold your hands because you're foreigners here. Let's go back to KwaZulu. Let's make sure we build agricultural colleges. Let's make sure that we build factories. Let's open our TVET colleges to teach you skills so that you guys can build a Zulu economy. So you don't have to come here and be away from your family and your people. Build Zulu schools, build game reserves so foreigners can come in there. Every corner of KwaZulu should have its own Lion King production. So when tourists come in, whether baseMuthu, baseMsinga, base Richards Bay, eMpangeni, eNewcastle, eMnambithi, eDanaos, eKophongolo, whatever. There's a Lion King production everywhere there. They're brilliant. And they bring the American dollars. And you take the American dollars and you convert them into a Zulu cryptocurrency. And you take that and you create NFTs or artworks, Zulu artworks, and you share them with the world. And you travel the world and you collaborate. And you do beautiful things. And you create a film industry, KwaZulu. And you create your own economy with your own government. That's the stuff we should be doing. But we're so focused on small things. But I understand. But that's why leaders like myself are here to try and unlock your minds. I will stop here. Like I said, I try to speak slower than normal for comprehension and for understanding. And I need to understand that I'm probably going to keep having to make videos about foreigners in this country because right now it is a hot, polarizing topic. I'm probably going to have to make another video about Russia and Ukraine as well. I'm going to have to make a video about COVID. I need to make videos about these very important things. And then over and above that, I need to make time to teach you guys financial literacy so you understand the money game, so you can win in the money game. I need to teach you guys political literacy so that politicians stop lying to you, so that you can hold them accountable and so that you know the channels, so that you can build your own Afri forums and take politicians to court. I need to teach you guys the law, how the law works, this Roman Dutch law that was brought by white people, so that you can use it for yourself to win and not find yourself struggling like Makete, the Vodacom guy, who is still waiting for his money to this day. You guys need to learn to play the game smarter. And then after all said and done, we then need to speak about our families. How do we rebuild our families? How do we make sure that we're present for our children? How do we teach our children our values and stop sending our kids to schools where they're teaching our children to hate us, where my child would rather believe in something else because the school is conditioning him every day, making him laugh at his dad that can't speak proper English, making him laugh at his mom who can't use a computer, making your child feel less than because your dad is a polygamist. What's wrong with my father? Why is he a polygamist? Put your children in spaces where they share your values and they understand. And they help you and your family build enterprise. Our children, just like Jewish children, just like Muslim children, just like Afrikaner, some Afrikaner children, they need to be raised to say we're going to go and acquire knowledge and skills and travel the world so that we can go home and build and uplift our family. Those are the things that I really, really want to speak about. But I'm happy to speak about these things on the way there. Thank you to everyone who supports my channels. Thank you to everyone who's bought my books. Thank you to everyone who believes in me, who books me for consultations. I will keep trying to get out there and meet with you guys and speak to you guys. I owe Johannesburg and Pretoria, I know, a lot. I owe you guys sit downs, and I'm hoping in the coming weeks to find venues. I'm struggling with venues, whether it's a school or a church or a city hall. I need venues where I can host you guys and I can teach and then we can engage. I love Q&A, questions and answers. What have you got for me? Maybe I can help you. Maybe someone in the audience can help you. Posted recently about teaching English online. Those are things I want us to speak about. How do I teach as many of you guys, penalists, my supporters, how do I teach as many of you guys as possible to teach English to China, to Korea, to Russia, to South America, to the Middle East, so that they can pay us in their currencies and we can become rich and bring that money in here and build a super economy by teaching the world. They colonized language. That's not even ours, but that's so cool. Human collaboration. Love you guys very much and I hope you'll have a great evening. Please remember to share this video. I think it's very important and I'll see you guys soon. Penuel the Black Pen, out.